Welcome to the Victory Formation Lounge podcast, a pro football concentrated podcast that discusses NFL games week to week.
Hello, welcome back, everyone. We're back again. The Victory Formation podcast. Members back once again. Unfortunately, we are down one, but majority of the camp is back. And as for those that are watching for the first time, this is a professional football, NFL to be exact, podcast specific. And each of the six panelists on, as you can see on your screen, represent a specific team or fan base that covers that specific team. And throughout the season, we will be covering the team variably and their games. But before I actually go into too much depth, I'll actually rather encourage you to watch the previous episode. That actually tells you what we discuss and everything. It's a very fun podcast, and I hope you enjoy it. And today's episode, we're just going to be focusing on the NFL draft that just ended yesterday. And we're going to begin with, actually, let me just start with an introduction. I am Anthony, and as you can see, I'm representing the Horseshoe Gang, the Indianapolis Colts. I guess we can go clockwise. Go ahead, Sai.
I'm Cy, representing the New England Patriots.
Minos, representing the Bang Bang Niner Gang.
Really?
Ebo, the fan, representing the five-time Super Bowl champions, Dallas Cowboys.
And I'm Rex, representing Balso Hart University, Baltimore Ravens.
All right. Yeah, so there we go. We're missing one. Kwaku is supposed to be representing the Philadelphia Eagles, some team like that. Is that what they're called? What are they? Yeah, some team like that.
Filthy.
Yeah, they're under the weather. He's under the weather right now, just like his team. And so we'll be covering his team today. But without further ado, we're going to jump right into it. We're going to start with the 49ers. Shout out to Minos. Go ahead, Minos. Well, how did your draft go? What do you think?
I like our draft. I mean, you can never have too much pass rush. We addressed that. I'm really excited to see Drake on the other side of Nick Bosa. Hopefully every commentator can actually call him Nick Bosa this year instead of Joey Bosa, but we'll see about that.
I mean, the brother's like nice, it's kind of hard to not, mix them up.
I mean, it's Joey and Nick.
They're both nice.
They are both nice.
Yeah.
I can't even lie.
But, we did address some running back depth because, as you know, last year every single running back got hurt, and that's why Debo became a wide back.
Speaking of which, we're going to have to talk about that. What are your thoughts, and what is the current condition? I heard he still wants out. How true is that?
He does. I mean, that's apparently what Jeremy Fowler's telling everybody. OBJ is online tweeting every 5 minutes about.
I saw that. I actually saw one of his tweets, and I thought he had left. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah, he was trolling hard.
Yeah, OBJ just starting drama like most girls do. So it is what it is. But Debo wants to be paid, and at the end of the day, if the Niners can finally get rid of Jimmy's contract, we'll have the money there where we could pay him.
How's that even looking? Are there teams interested in Jimmy, or
I don't know.
Good question.
Right now, I mean, the Panthers I thought would be a landing destination, but they took a quarterback.
Yeah, Corral, I think.
I mean, Yep. You never know. I mean, somebody might get hurt in training camp, as always happens.
I hear you. Yeah.
He may end up somehow getting to the Saints, which was a rumor earlier on in free agency. But who knows? At this point in time, I just want him to pass his physical so we can cut him without having to eat $7.5 million.
Hey, that's a Star Wars.
Get him gone.
Show him some love.
Get him gone.
Hey, yeah, get him gone because you know what? I'm more excited to see what Trey can do being the full-time starter. What is that noise?
Yeah, what is that?
What are you hearing?
You don't hear that high pitched whirring noise?
No. You guys,
Yeah, I hear it too.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
fading.
I hear it too.
I have no idea.
Anthony, it's come from you probably.
is it?
You
You
got
can't hear
aliens.
it.
I
His
can't hear it.
aliens are summoning him.
Yeah. Let me mute my camera and see if it goes off.
Yeah, because your volume is kind of low, so I think it might be you.
Yep,
Yeah, it's
it is.
gone now.
Yeah, it's definitely you.
Man, he's probably still over there with a Packard Bell computer.
That's a deep cut.
Back?
You are
Now it's
fire
back.
today, huh?
It's back.
Ah,
Yeah, it's back.
yeah, man, you're driving my dogs nuts.
I don't know what the deal is.
You want
When
a
you mute
microphone?
yourself too, you have to talk.
You want an
Yeah.
external microphone?
No, I don't. I'm actually using the laptop one, so
That's probably the problem.
yeah, perhaps.
Uh,
Yeah, but sorry to cut you off, Minos. Keep going. I'm a mute, so keep going.
No worries. Yeah, I'm more excited to see what Trey can do. I mean, everything that I'm hearing from Fred Warner, Jimmy Ward, Tart, Kittle, all of them that are doing interviews are just talking about how much he pissed off the defenses when he was on the scout team in practice. I mean, our defense was no slouch. So the fact that he's able to piss them off, I can't wait to see what he can do in a real game. I mean, the little bit of run he got this year, he did make a couple bonehead mistakes. But then you see him running to his left, throwing across his body like 50 yards downfield to Debo. I mean, Jimmy can't do that.
Nah.
Last time Jimmy completed a ball over 5 yards, shoot, it was probably like 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's one of his biggest, drawbacks. Like when you go deep,
Thinking dunk.
yeah, he can't throw. He has no accuracy after 20 yards.
Nope.
But he reads. The thing is, it makes it look like he doesn't read or he reads late, but he actually reads defense on time and everything. It's just he sucks at getting the ball there.
He doesn't have that gun. I mean, the
Yeah.
best example of it was that playoff game against the Packers. Kittle's wide open on that first drive in the second half, and then he throws the ball like 3.5 minutes late, picked off at the goal line. So, but we did address the offensive line, which I was happy about eventually. But we still got Aaron Banks that we took last year that really hasn't played. He was it was a red shirt year. The one undrafted free agent that I really like is O'Neal, that safety out of I think it was like some college in Texas.
Got you.
But he's a big safety, and he's got a.
There's actually one pick on your team that I actually like a lot. I think he's going to make your roster. Is Danny Gray? He's actually a really good. He's a good receiver. Very good receiver.
I mean, we need it.
Is it Leon O'Neal from A&M?
Yep. Yeah, he can hit. So I'm excited to see that. But I can also see him being used like kind of like a hybrid, like an extra safety kind of linebacker type role that we did a few times last year when all our linebackers got hurt.
Yeah. I know. I saw what's his face in the interview. He was very hype about your quarterback, Lance. Greg Kittle.
George, come on, man. It's
Who's
George
Greg?
and Nick.
Greg?
I have no idea who's Greg.
Well, yeah, George Kittle. He's actually very excited about your quarterback. I don't know. Time will tell, but I mean,
George Kittle is excited about everything. You can tell him a Muskrat is playing quarterback. George will be like, "Yeah, let's go." So I take his enthusiasm with a grain of salt. He's a very team-oriented guy. Much respect to that, but I don't know if we have seen his true feelings.
Yeah.
Well, he and Jimmy were like boys, and the fact that he can rave like this on Trey publicly, I mean, I believe it. I can't. I just want to see what the kids got. I mean, from everything that I've heard, he puts his head in the ground and just works.
Yeah, I feel you. And what do you think in respect to the rest of your division? What they got?
Well, I ain't really.
I'm sorry. Before we even get to the division, do you think your team addressed the needs that they actually had before they got into the draft?
Yeah.
Yes. The one that we didn't address as much as I would like, but there's still free agents out there, is wide receiver. Getting a third that's, a veteran. I mean, I'd love to be able to sign Jarvis Landry.
Danny
But
Gray is one of those jack of all trades, but he's fast.
True.
He's not that tall, but his tape pops. His tape pops, and he's fast.
But you also got to think of it this way: Debo is our most veteran receiver, and if he wants out, Ayuk is next.
Yeah, Ayuk is very athletic. He's good. He's good.
Yeah, he just needs to stay focused. I mean, you saw what happened after Kyle put him in the doghouse the first 5 weeks, and then when a switch flipped and he started playing unselfish football, blocking downfield and all that. I mean, the one play I'll remember is that big screen play against the Bears. Ayuk had one of those blocks 60 yards downfield.
Oh yeah, I think I remember that actually.
Yeah.
How much is Debo asking for?
Nobody knows, but I think the floor is going to be AJ Brown's deal.
25.
I think that's going to be the minimum. I mean, he's worth it. I mean, the dude.
Yeah, he is.
He just
I'll take him in a heartbeat.
But as far as the rest of our division, I'm not going to talk about the Rams because they ain't have no picks, or at least the ones they did have ain't going to make the roster. So I'm not even wasting my breath on them. Seahawks look like they're trying to get back to what their identity used to be. They drafted O-linemen and running backs. So it's not like they have a quarterback.
I like their first two picks, though.
They stay drafting running backs.
Well, yeah. I mean, shoot. Now they don't have a quarterback, so I mean they're gonna have to run the ball 80 times a game. I mean,
it's funny how they draft the O-lineman after Wilson leaves.
Yeah. Right. Cardinals, I would have thought they might have gone out and maybe done a little bit more in the draft for Kyler Murray, but trading for Marquise Brown was just that, and they gave up damn near nothing for it. They addressed the defense, it seems like. Pass rush.
Hold on. Did you say they gave up nothing for Marquise Brown?
Well, compared to how
first round pick.
Yeah.
That is not nothing. You guys for a guy that just had his first 1,000. Anyway, we'll get to that. But yeah, I don't think that's
you guys probably could have got more. That I think.
Wait, really? Was it a first and a third or no?
No, it was just the first for Marquise.
Just the first.
Yeah, I think you guys could have probably finagled them for another pick.
I think it was a decent.
I'll talk about that. I'll talk about that when we get to it.
I think it was a decent trade.
Yeah, I mean, Debo. I honestly thought if he was going to be traded, it would have been before the draft. But hearing what the Jets offered, I think that was just the dumbest offer they could have made. I mean, how are you going to offer to take Debo off our hands and us to give you our second round pick as well for your first round pick and then a fifth? Nah,
that didn't make sense to me either.
No, Jets were smoking that rock. I mean, they had a great draft. They were smoking that rock.
They had a great draft, though, yeah, for sure.
So overall, though, I'm happy with what the Niners have done, and hopefully we can figure out this Debo situation, get him paid, and call it a day. I
think going forward, I think Kyler Murray has no more excuses, right? He's stacked with weapons now, right? So.
Yeah, Kyler Murray just has to throw the ball in the air, and some Pro Bowler will catch it.
Pretty much.
I mean,
did they address their line? Because their line is still kind of last year it was still kind of.
They got an offensive lineman. I can't remember what round it was, but it was just kind of all right. They got one. Nothing too spectacular. But yeah, I mean, I still, as they collapsed last year, how they started hot and collapsed with that regime with Cliff Kingsbury, who's, I guess he never had a winning record in college or some crap. I don't have any worry about them.
So how would you say you rank in your in your division respectively? Do you think you guys can contend for the division?
Damn right.
Okay, so you think you're like there with the Rams, pretty much right up there with them.
Yes.
Okay. What about
We
you guys?
just need.
What do you guys think regarding the NFC West? Do you think the Niners are any close to the defending champs, or not
I think
convincing?
if the Niners stay healthy, that's the key thing with the Niners, though. If they stay healthy and they have the firepower to compete,
And the quarterback
especially with the Rams.
and
I
the
think
quarterback.
Arizona Cards, I don't know. They're up in the air. They always start strong and then somehow they fizzle down the stretch, right?
Yeah.
We'll see.
What about the quarterback play? I think that's obviously going to be huge. Trey Lance has to at least be able to compete.
But I trust Shanahan, right? If Trey struggles, he's gonna find 10,000 ways to run the ball. He- he's not even gonna play around. Like he will run the ball on you.
I mean, that Packers NFC title game a couple years ago, I think we threw the ball 4 times and blew them out.
Yeah, I mean, even last year, I thought you were right there with him, but your quarterback play failed you down the line because
Debo had the highest quarterback rating against the Rams.
yeah, that was the only thing that was missing. Otherwise, you would be able to go toe to toe with him. I like some of your additions too in the offseason. You know, I was bitter when we lost Kaboko Toure to you guys, and I think he's going to come on well, especially if you bring him on as a situational pass rusher. He was our best pass rusher, and part of the reason why we fired one of our coaches because his production and his time didn't add up. So I was like, with a new coach, why don't we bring him back? But you guys. So,
Yeah, and we also got Odom too for safety depth.
Right. Cool, man. So you're pretty happy with what you guys have?
Yes, sir. We just got to pay Debo.
Okay. So we'll stick to the NFC, and we'll move down to the East, or should I say, on the other side,
The
and
beast,
have
The NFC least.
the beast,
illustrious
NFC
star,
least, he said.
the beast.
the illustrious star talk about his girl. I mean his boy.
Man, you're playing. Hey.
Go ahead. The
Nah.
floor is yours.
Yeah, I think overall the Cowboys draft was decent. The theme this year was, I guess, bigger, stronger, with a bit of an edge. They took the 49ers playoff game to heart. They were convinced we got bullied on both sides of the line. So what they were looking for in this draft was some nastiness, someone with some nastiness, right? So like the first pick, Tyler Smith, he's tenacious. Like he looks to throw people around. He finishes his blocks. The only concern though is penalty flags. He had a lot of penalty flags in college. Now, from the Cowboy fan base, we just got rid of Connor Williams, who led all O linemen in penalty flags. And here we are drafting one coming in with penalty flag issues. So the fan base isn't happy, but we'll see. We'll see how it pans out. Fan base wasn't happy last year either with Michael Parsons, and look at how that turned out. So Sam Williams, the second round pick, Dan Quinn loved him. He worked out with him some one-on-one drills and stuff. He fell in love with him. He went as far as to say he's similar to Michael Parsons without saying Michael Parsons, but he was ecstatic. He has some off the field issues, so again, we'll see if he stays on the field.
Typical Dallas fashion.
Hey, we need some nastiness on that field.
Second chance franchise right there. Fourth, fifth chance franchise.
The third pick, I usually judge a draft by the first 3 picks.
Over.
I think they should either be starters or they should contribute heavily. So if your first 3 picks are a mess, then good luck to you. But Jalen Tolbert, he had good production in college. He's a good route runner, has good size and speed. He ran a 4.49 at the combine. He's 6'2", 195. So pretty good size. Only thing is the competition he played for South Alabama, so we don't know if that talent will translate into the NFL, but we'll see. I think if you coach him up, he should be good for a third wide receiver this year. And then next year, hopefully, he can push for a number 2 spot. Other than that, they went heavy on defense, which I like because I think we're slowly transitioning to a defensive team first. Dan Quinn did wonders with the team last year. So I can only imagine what he would do with some of these defensive players. But overall, it's decent with a high ceiling, but we'll see what coaching does.
So, are you guys going to hire Sean Payton next year?
It's a win-win for me. It's either we win it this year, or Sean Payton is my coach next year.
Word on the street is negotiating to be an analyst next year, dog.
We can buy him out. That's Jerry buy him out.
Come back at a certain price.
Yeah, they're trying to Amazon's trying to get him for their prime football thing that they're doing, because they're taking over Thursday Night Football.
Oh,
yeah, Amazon
completely,
Prime.
or
yeah,
are they going to share with NFL Network?
NFL Network is not going to let that go fully.
Mm-hmm. I figured.
Yeah, because I mean, not everybody in the world has Amazon Prime to watch a football game.
Yeah, I know, right? So I mean, back to the Cowboys. Going in, we needed an offensive lineman, wide receiver, tight end, linebacker, kicker. I think we got everything. The kicker, they just picked up one undrafted free agency, so it's like we addressed all the needs. See how it pans out.
That's cool. So you're pretty confident about your picks, or you're on the fence?
Yeah, especially on defense, because I know the coaches will get that talent out. The offense, I don't know, because we had Amari Cooper and we didn't use him. So, I don't know what these coaches do on offense, but on defense, I know they'll get the most out of them.
Yeah, you guys need clock management as part of your training camp.
Oh my goodness, yeah. And the penalty flags. Oh man.
Yeah.
Some discipline.
Are you the tackle that you got? Is he going to? You think he's going to step in right away and be a major factor? Because I know you struggled at tackle last year.
Yeah, I mean, we got rid of Lyle Collins. He went to the Bengals. I think that was personal. I don't know why they got rid of him, but we don't have Connor Williams. I think from Jerry's press conference, he's gonna fill in straight up a guard, and then slowly transition to take over left tackle when Tyron Smith leaves. But he's gonna go straight in to the guard position, left guard position.
Is Tyron healthy now, or is he still?
He's healthy, but every Cowboy fan knows he misses 3 or 4 games a year. So you need a swing tackle.
Oh, FYI, I believe the Lyle Collins thing was personal, because the moment he got to Cincinnati, he got a tattoo, a Bengal tattoo.
Yeah. It was personal, man.
Jeez.
It's been one of those off seasons.
One of those. Are you aware of any of your undrafted free agents? Anyone stand out, or
the kicker? That's the only one I checked.
The kicker. I see. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And then how about I guess
I can go through the division.
Yeah, I was about to say, since Kweku's not here to even discuss the Eagles, I guess you can kind of go into depth about their picks, and then we can also talk about the Giants.
Right.
Let's see, and be fair, because I know you guys be hating on each other.
Oh no, I'm objective.
You can be objective.
I'm objective,
and then you can jab here and there. You know.
I mean, it's filthy, but I'm objective.
You can objectively say they suck.
And then, feel free to chime in, because you live in Philadelphia, so you know.
I think overall, the Eagles draft, I'll categorize it as very aggressive. They used up 6 picks to get 2 players, Davis and AJ Brown. 6 picks.
1 second. You know the funny thing? When I looked at their picks, I was like, wait, how did this happen? Because going in, they had so many. like top tier picks.
They had 3 picks in the first round.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I looked. I was like, wait, did they trade for next year? And then, so go ahead. Yeah, I was like,
It's like what the
happened?
Dolphins did.
They used up 6 picks pretty much on 2 players, AJ Brown and then Jordan Davis.
Jesus.
Now AJ Brown, I can see he's already established. He's good, but Jordan Davis, he's an unknown. Like he played 40% of the snaps at Georgia.
Jordan Davis is not an unknown, my brother.
It was
Jordan
the combine
Davis
numbers.
beast.
The combine numbers.
Jordan Davis is going to be a huge problem in the NFL for a very
the combine
long
numbers,
time.
though. We don't know yet.
No. Trust me, Jordan Davis. And you know what makes it even better for them? If you ask me, Philly won their draft in the first 3 picks because Cam Jurgens, Beef Jerkins, or whatever they call him, he's one of the nastiest centers, one of the nastiest offensive linemen in the draft. And then Nakobe Dean was Jordan Davis's linebacker. So they've played together for like 3 years. So they already know each other's moves and everything. So picking up Nakobe Dean to add to Jordan Davis makes Jordan Davis even better. So they have definitely solidified that defensive front 7, like aggressive. It's going to be a nasty animal to deal with. That's just my opinion.
Another thing that you got to be aware of is like they might use Jordan Davis a little different than Georgia did. Like Georgia, they just asked him to be a nose tackle, eat up blockers. Now they might actually try to use his athleticism to pass rush, try and coach him up to be a freak of nature. So
but that's what I'm saying. If you don't hit on Jordan Davis, the entire draft is like subpar, right?
No, because like I said, Nakobe Dean is a beast too. Nakobe Dean is still a beast. In my opinion, Nakobe Dean was one of the top 3 best middle linebackers in the draft. I don't know why he fell.
There's a reason why he fell. Injuries.
Yeah,
and he's gonna have a redshirt year probably this year because he needs surgery, I think. So scratch him off the list this year. Pretty much the draft comes down to Jordan Davis. If Jordan Davis is a hit, boom.
I think behind Fletcher Cox, I mean, if they keep Fletcher Cox now, which I think they will, and just let Davis sit behind him and rotate him in and out, I think it's going to be nice. But don't forget, a couple weeks ago, the Eagles made a trade with the Saints, where they got the Saints' first-round pick next year in exchange for some of the picks this year.
That's the thing with the Eagles that I like. What they have now as a team. The only problem is, do they have the quarterback, right?
And that's why this year, I think that's why they went out and got AJ Brown, and they're like,
they have all the pieces now.
Yeah, it's like now, hey, can you complete a pass over 10 yards?
And if I think Hurts is a decent quarterback, given the time he'll be serviceable. But if he doesn't step up this year, knowing the Philly fans, next year they're gonna package those ones and go get a quarterback.
Well, yeah, they got 2 firsts next year.
They got 2 firsts, so they'll package it up and go get a quarterback.
I believe so too.
Yeah, Hurts is on the hot seat, kind of.
Or the joke I was making with my buddy yesterday was, give us a 6th-round pick for Jimmy.
You'll take that.
Hey,
yeah.
They traded a 6th-round pick for Minshew. I'm pretty sure they do the same thing for Jimmy. Yeah. So, but let me actually see.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, the Eagles. Nakobe Dean, I thought was the steal. If he stays healthy, he's the steal of the draft, right? Cameron Jurgens, he's a little bit undersized, but just like Kelsey.
Yeah,
he's just like Kelsey, and Eagles did wonders with him. So I can see him just replacing Kelsey when Kelsey retires next year. The other picks, the linebackers, I thought they needed a safety and a corner. They didn't address those.
They do.
That's because they're trying to get Tyrann Mathieu.
I
think they're still trying to get Tyrann Mathieu.
I see him going to New Orleans.
So do I. That's home. So,
yep.
Yeah.
So
that tight end at the end is actually decent as well. He's raw, but he's very athletic. So,
but he had a lot of concussion issues in college to the point where he retired.
He did. He did.
So I don't know, but yeah, they probably still have some work to do with the corner and safety positions. But I thought it was very aggressive and high ceiling, man. If it pays off, it pays off.
Do you feel intimidated?
Nah, not this year. Now next year, if they go get a quarterback,
Mhm.
if they go get a quarterback next year, yeah. This year,
So I'm guessing you're coming up to Philly for a Cowboys game, and you're gonna wear all your Cowboys stuff.
oh no, hell no.
He wants to live. He
I
wants
want
to
to live,
live.
yeah. Now the team
Right.
in our division that I thought did an awesome job with your draft are the Giants.
Yeah.
I thought their first two picks were like gold. Thibodeau, the pass rusher,
Straight home runs.
yeah. I mean, when the draft process started way back in November, he was like the undisputed first overall pick,
Yeah,
right?
I still think he's the best of them all.
I think so too, Rick. I mean, and they got him on the fifth pick. And then they got Evan Neal, the best tackle, right after that. I mean, people are saying this Neal kid, he could be an all decade player, right? So just those two, to me, I mean, you win the draft right there. They did address some of their needs, but it's all potential. After that,
The Robinson kid is nice, but he's basically
Kadarius Toney,
but he's faster. Tony is like twitchy. This
Twitchy,
guy's
yeah.
got like top end speed. And
Then again, they're trying to get rid of
I was
Kadarius
about to say
Toney. Right?
they're trying to trade Tony.
yeah, it must be character issues because he barely played last year.
Yeah, they said he's some tardiness over there.
Yeah. So, and that was a stigma he had coming into the league. So,
I
hey,
think
that line is legit. Like with all these additions, it might be the year that Saquon finally breaks out. Who knows?
so because they didn't pick a running back. I was surprised.
Yeah.
But what the GM and the new coach is doing, I'm impressed over there because they didn't sign Saquon.
Yeah.
They didn't pick up the fifth-year option for Jones.
And I heard they're flirting with getting Baker.
Yeah, so like they're making right moves. So we'll see. I mean,
why would you waste a draft pick on a running back? Anyway,
here we go again.
There we go again. I thought you drafted a running back this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, am I in the GM room? I'll be swinging if I was in there, wasting a draft pick on a running back. We also did draft a punter, so who knows what they're doing over there.
Hey, punters are underrated, dog. They are very important.
Bro, it's part of the defense.
Yeah, it's part of the defense.
Hey,
So-
drafting a running back is overrated according to Shanahan. I mean, look what he's been doing with undrafted running backs, and then the one we drafted in the third last year barely even got on the field.
Yo,
follows his dad's footsteps.
Ninos, I've been preaching this thing since 2018 to these guys, and they have been telling me I'm way off. I'm like, the value of the running back is nonsense right now. I will not waste draft picks on a running back like at all. I could pick guys from the stands, and they can do the job. Like,
depends on the system you're in. Like Shanahan,
whatever, man.
Well, Shanahan,
It depends on the system. I agree.
Even Shanahan's dad
did the same,
right? When the era of running backs still had value, he was still doing what his son is doing now. He was getting backs. You remember Alandis, Gary, Anderson, the other, they were all like undrafted, just like his son. So it's
Terrell
like
Davis.
I mean,
Terrell Davis was an undrafted free agent. Well, drafted rookie.
Yep.
Elijah.
Yep. The highest guy that his dad picked in Denver was Clinton Portis, who he traded later on.
Yeah.
All of them guys were undrafted, and that was in an era when running backs had value.
Those guys can scheme up.
Yeah,
they're
runs.
Good. You can't compare them to the average coaches.
Yeah, they're not typical. You know,
that zone scheme, they really understand it. Now, Washington.
Here we go.
The Commanders.
Go ahead.
They get a C+ for their draft.
Yeah, commanding L's.
Man, they commanding L's, man. Because
C+.
I thought starting off, I mean, the Colts robbed them with that Wentz trade. and then the Saints bamboozled them in the trade. I mean, in the draft. They traded back with the Saints, and the Saints picked Chris Olave. And then Detroit got Jamison Williams. Who I think both of them are better wide receivers than Dotson. that they got. So I'm like, you were in position to get good wide receivers, and you traded back.
And they also drafted the same type of receiver, like
Yeah,
the shorter, speedy. Like it wasn't a change. You would expect them to draft one of like the taller,
the
more
taller, bigger
athletic.
ones. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like they basically drafted another Terry McLaurin, basically.
pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. So
Pretty
it's
much,
like,
yeah. So I don't know what they were doing, and then they just love Alabama players. They got themselves a D tackle, who I think is going to replace Payne because he's a free agent next year, and Brian Robinson, the Alabama running back.
yeah,
I don't know how many running backs do they have on that team, man.
it's like
they got
four or three.
Gibson, and all of them. So I'm like, why would you use a third round pick on it? I will.
Yeah.
And then the interesting part is the quarterback they picked up, Sam Howell. Yeah.
Oh, from North Carolina, right?
North Carolina, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just say Wentz should not get injured.
I hope he doesn't. I want that second round pick. I want him to play throughout the season. I need that second round pick, bro.
Wentz wants to keep his job. He better not get injured. He's interesting. He has a high ceiling, right? But we'll see.
Yeah.
Other than that, I just give him a C for this draft.
Where do you think they stand? So in the division, what do you think the hierarchy is currently?
I'll say Eagles and Cowboys will fight for the first place. Giants will take third, and Washington will take last.
Yep. Cowboys will probably win that division at what, 9-8?
Oh, hey.
Maybe less. Maybe less.
Have you not seen the NFC? Okay. You can get some wins.
Oh man, yeah.
The NFC has like 4 teams. Everybody else is
Pretty
just
much.
the college team. Pretty much.
Yep.
Oh man.
All right, I guess we move on from the division to the AFC in Indianapolis. Yeah, baby, how we roll.
Where's your division participant banner? Is it back there?
Don't start.
I can see it.
Don't start. But I thought we had a really good draft, actually. Considering that we didn't have a first round pick, the way we flipped it was actually shocking. Because you remember the last episode, how I was like, yeah, this offseason has been funny, but knowing how ballot works, I'm going to just wait till everything kind of lines up and I'll judge at the end. But I think he's put together quite an interesting roster, like a really good roster. First of all, he traded back a few times so he could have more value picks in the second and third round, because those are the rounds where he saw like the most value. Our first pick, Alec Pierce, is the wide receiver for Cincinnati. As you know, Cincinnati was in the Final Four in the national championship this year. So they had some really good players. And he was their go-to receiver. He is very athletic, very fast. He ran like a 4.3, 4.4 type. He's 6'3". He's a big guy. So he's basically off the mold of Michael Pittman, but bigger. I don't think his hands are as good as Pittman, but he catches well. His comparison is actually a poor man's Cooper Kupp. The only thing is, I think he's raw on the routes. I think Cooper Kupp coming out was a more polished route runner, and he was better in short spaces, so he could play slot predominantly really well. Whereas this guy is more of an outside type of guy. His routes are a little bit raw, but they're relying on Reggie Wayne to kind of coach him up to be, because he's a good character guy, so they think he will respond well to coaching. But his tape shows that he is a very good athlete. He's fast. He can catch in traffic. His routes are just really raw. So, and the theme of the Indianapolis Colts, I don't know if you guys are aware of the RAS metric, the relatively athletic metric. It's like a metric that kind of measures your athleticism. And that is Ballard's thing. First of all, he looks at your tape. If your tape shows like you're a good football player, then he looks at your athletic metric. That's how he were able to find people like Darius Leonard. Obviously, Quentin Nelson, everybody knew, but like the Darius Leonards, you name it. even our running back, he had a high RAS score. Our whole draft board RAS. So the highest score you can get in the RAS is 10. Everybody in our draft is 9 point something, which is elite as far as athleticism goes. The second pick that we had, Jelani Woods, has the highest tight end score since Anthony Becht. That was back in like 90 something. He had a full 10 out of 10, which is rare. This is the first time a tight end has scored a 10 out of 10 in the RAS in 25 years.
Wait, better than Kyle Pitts?
Yes.
Yeah.
As far as athleticism, yes. This guy just also started playing football 2 years ago. And if you watch his tape, he pops. He is fast. He is athletic. If they coach him up, he can be a problem.
Wow.
He definitely, yeah, he's nice. He's nice. Like I definitely see the potential. If they coach him well, he will definitely be one of those fantasy tight ends that people are going to be drafting in the next year or two.
I better take note for my fantasy draft.
Maybe not this year, but like eventually you get there. And then our next guy, obviously, also had he's a convert from tight end to tackle. And he's also, I think last year was his first year playing tackle. So he's good. Like his tape shows like really good potential, but he is a project, which is why he is drafted here so that they'll work him up to become a promising tight end. So people see him as a starting tight end in the near future. The next guy we actually traded up for, he is one of the better safeties in this draft. Not quite the guy that the Ravens got, who's like the best, but this guy from the Terps, Maryland, of course, Nick Cross, another guy that had a freaky RAS score. Shout out, you talking or you just piece up to your draft pick? Oh, yeah. Rah.
I'm shouting out Terp City, baby.
Terps, yeah, for sure. He has a amazing tape, but also he's also raw. I think he hadn't played safety like for a while. I think he's only played like 2 years. But if you look at his tape, you see the potential. Whereas, so if you rely on coaching, you get that potential up. He was the highest trade up we had this draft. So the Colts really wanted him. If you guys remember last year, we had injury issues with our safeties, so we were picking people off the street. So this year we made sure we signed the dude from the Philadelphia Eagles, McLeod, and then this guy is going to be the other backup. So, and he runs a 4.3 as well. So he's fast, he's quick, he hits like a brick, but he also has coverage skills. So like if you look at his video, you see him having quite a few picks last year with the Terps. And round 5 to 6 are just people that you're pretty much hoping in a depth, and then they're projects.
Traits.
But, what's that?
You're drafting for traits.
Yeah, basically. And then the one that pops out a lot, and that is the guy from Cincinnati. As we said, Cincinnati was in the final four of the national championship, and this guy was one of the leaders on their defense. They had actually really good defense, and the Colts believed that he wasn't even used well, and his coach actually said they didn't use him to his potential. They just needed him to do a certain job, and he did it well. He was a selfless player. So the Colts are now going to try to use him to actually bring out his athletic traits, and hopefully we'll see where that goes. Andrew Ogletree, the other tight end, is also of the mold of Jelani Woods. Not as good, obviously, but he's also very athletic, but he's very raw. So he's a long shot at depth. And then Eric Johnson, they expect him to back up our nose tackle, who was a really good nose tackle, Grover Stewart. So we'll see how that goes. I anticipate him making the roster. The Yale guy, he is listed as a DB, but they're trying to convert him to cornerback because of his traits. I think he played more free safety in Yale, but I think the way he plays and his size was more suited to play corner. So they're using him as a project corner for depth. As you know, corners go down like flies in this league. So he is a huge depth component for the team. As far as the undrafted free agents, as you all know, and I've been ridiculed by you a lot, we tend to have quite substantial cap space every year. So what Ballard did this year was he actually used some of that cap space to actually overpay some undrafted free agents so they don't go to other teams. And some of the guys that actually popped out were like there was like 2 offensive linemen. That one played for Wisconsin, who usually produces pretty good linemen, and another one is from like Central Michigan or something. And like a lot of people are saying that they're steals. And apparently we have one of the best. I was reading an analysis of like undrafted free agents. We have one of the best ones in the league, like collectively. The guy that I liked most was the running back from Oregon. I think his name is C.J. Vardell or something like that. Man, that kid reminds me of John. It's like a poor man's Jonathan Taylor. He's one cut, gone. Short, stout. He's just not as big as Taylor. And I think he has injury issues, so he's a backup at best. But when you look at his tape, just go look at his tape against Ohio State. He destroyed him. He destroyed Ohio State. But he also had a season-ending injury. So, like, they said if he actually played the season at that rate, he'd probably be a second-round pick. So, I mean, we'll see where it goes. As far as the division goes, I think collectively, I like Jacksonville. Jacksonville has had a really good offseason. Between their free agency and their draft picks, they've gotten a lot better in our division. I think Tennessee, for the most part, drafted for the future. They had names that stood out, obviously, like the quarterback Malik Willis.
Right.
Yeah,
I like Burks from for Tennessee though.
Yeah, so but a lot of their fans don't like that they lost AJ Brown for him, because even though AJ Brown is comparison, he's not as good as AJ Brown coming in. Right. But they hope in like 2 or 3 years maybe he'll be better than AJ Brown. But coming in initially, a lot of them are not too excited. He's a good pick because he's a good receiver.
Yeah, that's a good receiver. Yeah.
But if you're comparing him coming in and AJ Brown coming in, there's a little bit of a disparity. But
did Jacksonville address the O-line though?
Exactly. So I mean, they have cap issues, which is part of the reason why they traded AJ Brown. So they usually a really good O-line team too. Like they actually have one of the better O-lines in the league, which is why part of the reason why Henry is one of the GOATs in the league. But they also have issues in depth at the O-line. So we'll see. I honestly think it's currently now, after everything, I think we're probably the best team in the division. I think Tennessee is a second, not too far off, but second. And I think Jacksonville is actually third. Most people think Houston is, but I think Jacksonville has actually gotten so much better that they will actually be making some noise. They might not be playoff bound, but they're one of those teams that you play that you're like, man, just lose. Just lose. Yeah. They've done well with their picks. They've done well with their free agency, and I mean, we'll see where it goes. I'm very happy with our picks though, and I just hope we stay healthy. And Matt Ryan, my only concern coming out is offensive tackle, left tackle to be exact. Even though we drafted a guy that's a project that's expected to start, I need to make sure that the current starter is ready to start. That's why I was telling Rex the other day, I hope we sign Dwayne Brown. He's just chilling there. I feel more confident if Dwayne Brown was our starting tackle, because he's still a pretty good left tackle. He's just not.
He wants a whole lot of cash though.
How, dog? He's still a free agent. Who's gonna pay him that?
It's by choice.
Like that wave of this has passed. You take what you can get at this point, man. And he's not like he's young. He's like in his 30s now. So
where's that last cash?
yeah. That honestly is my only concern about the roster right now is the left tackle position. And honestly, if the left tackle is just decent, we'll be fine, because Quentin Nelson covers a whole lot of deficiencies. If your tackle is like that side, because he's there, he helps a whole lot with the left tackle. So I just need someone that's competent. Eric Fisher was not that last year. Eric Fisher was good at run blocking. But a pass, oh my gosh. Like, bro, you were a former first-round pick. What happened? I get it. He came back from an Achilles, so it is what it is. And the irony of it all, he won a top dollar at the end of the season. I'm like, bro, did you watch your tape? But yeah, I mean, we'll see. But I'm pretty confident if we stay healthy, we should be able to make the playoffs, and then anything goes. Unfortunately for us, we play the AFC West. So
Bro, the entire AFC is mad crazy.
yeah, we play the AFC West. So that's why, if you notice, we stacked up heavy on the secondary this year with, with
49ers play the AFC West too.
You do, huh? Yeah, and I think we play the NFC East.
can't get away from Russell Wilson.
I wonder when we're playing Dallas.
Yes.
I don't know if it's in Dallas or in. But that's a whole other discussion.
That is the one division in the AFC I would like to play.
My division, right? Real talk. I ain't even gonna lie.
I ain't gonna play.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, enough of us. Let's move on to the barbaric, bruteful AFC North, represented first by them scavenger birds. You go ahead.
You're a funny guy. All right. So when the draft started, I was excited. I was like, let's see what we're gonna do, because everybody's thinking, Baltimore Ravens are gonna get a receiver. There were a plethora of them in the draft, and then not only did we not get a receiver, we traded our number one receiver as well. Like, hey, who cares? We don't pass the ball anyway. So that's besides the point. I have ranted and vented enough this weekend. I'm gonna let it go. When I came down from being super angry and started to think logically, I realized that we actually had a very good draft. We actually had a really, really good draft, and absolutely. I think we just created a top 5 defense in the NFL off of this draft alone and what we had, because Kyle Hamilton is a safety that can cover tight ends. He's 6'4", 220. He's running with every tight end. He's a hybrid, man. He can play. He can come to the box. He can drop back. We signed Marcus Williams already. Yeah, he can play the slot. I think
he's even bigger though.
He's bigger. Yeah, he's bigger and taller. Yeah. Tyler Lindenbaum is just nasty. He's just nasty. He's a little undersized, but that boy is a brawler. Like, he's exactly what we need at center.
Wasn't he fighting at the Senior Bowl?
Sorry. Yeah. Lamar Jackson has been hurt twice in his career, like knocked out of games. The first one was at the playoff game in Buffalo when the center snapped the ball over his head, and then he went to get it and got hit and got a concussion. The second time was when the blitz around the center in Cleveland last year, and he got the bone bruise in his foot. So we need a center, because the centers are the reason our back can't stay healthy. Yeah. All right. David Ojabo is a steal. Like, I don't even know what else to say about that. Like, I have not seen rookie come out this plethora of pass rush moves personally ever.
I'm not gonna lie.
Huh?
I'm not even gonna lie. His college video, some of it
his moves are like watching DeMarcus. It was like watching DeMarcus Ware, like just moves. Like he's stutter stepping, he's spin moving, he's bull rushing, he has that like right free angle bend where they're like 45 degrees. Like he's got it all. So I'm excited to see what happens when he gets back. But this season,
do you know why he dropped in the draft?
Because he tore his Achilles.
Yeah, he got hurt.
Achilles on his pro day.
Yeah, on his pro day, he tore his Achilles because he was supposed to be a top 5, top 10 pick.
Yeah. Oh, he might not play this year. He's probably not going to play this year. But
no, he's expected back end of October. But they're gonna put him on ice. Baltimore's gonna rush him back.
Yeah.
Travis Jones, one of the better D tackles in the league. He was projected to go in the second round, put him in the third. Another steal. Daniel Falele was actually. There's rumor that he is the biggest player ever drafted in the NFL history. He's 6'8", 398 pounds.
Yeah, he's gonna play like 3 snaps, dog. He's gonna be winded.
Hold on. In college, when they got to the goal line, he was the fullback that was used, and sometimes he was the running back that was used. And what he also, because who's gonna tackle him?
So that's why you traded your wide receiver. You're gonna run.
Exactly. We're gonna run our tackle. We're gonna run the tackle.
Wow.
And another thing that he does is
use Trent Williams in motion, and he got ideas.
Right. Another thing that he does is, because of how big he is, anytime he lines up in the field to run the ball, the team just fouls the box, and he can pass. So he's thrown touchdown passes in college as well. So I think he's just an exciting guy to have. Jalen Amore is a serviceable cornerback from Alabama. He's not, anything crazy, but special teams. He will definitely do his thing on special teams. we picked up 2 tight ends, Charlie Kohler and Likely. Likely's a wide receiver. I don't care what anybody says. Likely has not lined up on the line of scrimmage.
Good.
He has not lined up on the line of scrimmage in like 2 years. He's always spread out wide. He's running wide receiver routes. He's 6'4", I think 220 or something like that. He's a wide receiver. He's not really a tight end.
Hey, but in Baltimore, you better learn how to block.
He's definitely going to be this guy's backup with his athletic traits. Yeah.
I believe the Ravens are trying to recreate the exact team they had in 2019 when they went 14-2 and Lamar won the MVP. Double tight end sets, crazy secondary that you can't pass on. D-line just animals on the D-line just crushing everybody. They're trying to recreate that. So let's see how it goes.
Especially in the division, you need that, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Charlie Kohler is a tight end from Iowa State, and Charlie Kohler, like the thing I like about it, he's not the fastest guy, but he's so big and his catch radius is so wide. You can close your eyes and throw the ball, and he will get it because nobody can stop him. Like nobody has been able to contest him catching the ball.
That's what Lamar does, anyways.
Right. And then after that, the rest were just special teams players. But I do want to talk about one guy that we picked up the undrafted free agent that we picked up that I have high hopes for. He's the kid from Alabama. What's his name again? It's Slade Bolden. Slade Bolden was a slot guy in Bama. He didn't have a lot of production because Bama didn't have a quarterback, so they don't really pass, and that's why they only had one receiver come out. But I have a feeling that he has potential to be like a Cole Beasley. So we'll see if he makes the team. The problem is Baltimore, our biggest weakness is we do not know how to develop receivers. So if you're not a number one, like first round pick, chances are your career in Baltimore is shot. And all the evidence points that way. There's been only, since I've been watching the Ravens, there's been only one draft pick by the Ravens that was not a first rounder that actually had success, and that was Torrey Smith.
Man,
like everybody else has failed. And this includes first rounders.
I think one of your most underrated picks that you appreciate later on is the Penn State punter. He's the best punter in the draft.
Yeah.
He's actually a really good punter.
Yeah. Nice. Well, a lot of people prefer Matt Araiza to him, but the problem with Araiza is a left-footed punter, and left-footed punters can ruin how you set up your punt defense. So that's why he has the advantage as a right-footed punter. He's really good, and our punter is like 40-something years old. He's been in the league forever. Sam Cook, and he's about to hit us for cap for like $2.5 million. So they're like, I think they're like, yo, we gotta go because this kid's gonna cost us $700,000. Like, come on, it makes sense. So I'm excited. The rest of the division, I hate that the Steelers stole the wide receiver that we wanted in George Pickens. I don't think they did much else in the draft besides getting Pickens, but they had already kind of set up their team already before the draft. So all they need is a quarterback. They have everything. They just need a quarterback. Let's see what Kenny Pickett can do for them. And one thing about the Steelers are really good at developing receivers.
Of course.
So they could pick somebody in the 7th round and he'll be a Pro Bowler. So
every time, man.
So I'm really nervous about Pickens.
I believe those two have potential to be starters.
Absolutely.
But if they're in the Steelers, they will be starters.
No, but the problem is the Steelers is already stacked with receivers. They already have like 3 or 4 receivers already.
Deontay dropped so many balls, though. That's his only block. He dropped so many passes.
But they cut James Washington. Juju's also gone too.
Juju's gone.
Shooter Smith, yeah.
Yeah, they did pick up one of the guys the Baltimore Ravens released this season.
This kid will get a starter role. Pickens.
Oh no, Pickens is definitely going to be starting. He's nice. He's nice. He's hurt, but we'll see. But he should start. The Browns, they kind of fixed their team before the draft started as well. They signed their cornerback. They got their quarterback. They got their receiver. So on offense, they're good. And defense, they were already nasty. So there's not a lot there. But they still drafted well. They picked up Emerson, who's a legit corner, in my opinion. Right. Alex Wright, the D end is pretty solid. Yeah. David Bell was one of the most productive wide receivers in college this year. He might not be a great receiver, but he's production-wise, he did his thing. So I'm curious to see how they look as well. Winfrey is one hell of a D tackle too. So I'm excited to see what they look like. the Bengals, their only problem was offensive line, to be honest, if you ask me, and they fixed that on the first day of free agency. So they signed like 2 or 3 offensive line within a week of the beginning of free agency. So they're good there. They just picked up random players. So their draft, I did not notice anybody stand out on their draft over here. They had Dax Hill from Michigan. That's about it. That's the only person I could think of. But he's a DB, and they're already good at DB. Well, I guess they could use one more corner. But I think the team is already good.
They all look like straight depth. They're right.
Exactly. They were just drafted for depth for the most part because they already fixed the team in free agency. As far as how the season is going to go, I think the Bengals are the team to beat still. The Browns are going to be a nightmare because they have a top 10 receiver, a top 10 quarterback, and a top 10 cornerback as well. And that's just too much.
Don't forget the running backs, okay? We know you hate running backs. Don't forget the running backs.
No. I was actually getting there. I was actually about to say, I think, in my opinion, they have like one of the top 2 best running back tandems in the league.
Yeah.
So I'm really nervous about what that's going to look like. But that is also a team that has, more times than not, they suffer from dysfunction more so than play. So we'll see, because they've gone to pick up the controversial quarterback. So we'll see how that goes during the season. They still have Baker on their books. So we don't even know what's going on with that. So hopefully they implode before we get to week 1, but we'll see.
I think the division is going to be one of the most entertaining.
Do you think they suspend Watson?
100%. 100%. Watson's going to miss at least 8 games.
8?
Yes.
Nah, I don't think it's that high.
It is going to be that high. Trust me.
I bet you they'll give him 4.
They'll start with 8. They might drop it to 6, but he's going to start. He's not getting below 6.
I know I'm veering off of the football thing, but did you see what Major League Baseball did with Trevor Bauer?
Yeah, 2 years, right?
Suspended 2 years. He was. Yeah. They didn't find enough evidence to prosecute him as well.
Exactly.
What are they going to do to Deshaun Watson?
It's a it's a double punishment. It's a punishment for your misbehavior, and it's a punishment for bringing this type of attention to the league. And the league doesn't like that, so they will punish you for that.
What was his significance in the Major League Baseball? Was he one of like the top tier stars?
He was a Cy Young winner.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so
and they have absolutely no evidence.
It's comparable, because knowing how the NFL moves, they will probably try to because he generates money. They'll try to give him 4 or 6, maybe 6, but I don't see them giving him more than that because
we've seen the NFL give someone 2 years before.
Yeah, that's like a money magnet, man.
But we've also seen them give 2 games until a video came out.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. So who knows how it's going to go, but I think it's going to be 8 because he has held the NFL hostage for 2 seasons. He has destroyed one franchise in Houston by leaving, and he has the potential to destroy a second franchise. So he has to pay for that. Even if he did nothing wrong with regards to the women, he has to pay for the attention he brought to the NFL. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, that doesn't matter. I still think the Bengals are the team to beat in the division. The Browns are incredibly scary with Watson. The Steelers are always in it. I don't care what happens. The Steelers are always in it. And the Ravens, we need a wide receiver. I don't know how we're going to get one, but we need one because, as much as I think Rashad Bateman is one hell of a player and he's going to be amazing, he's not enough. What do you say?
Debo.
I don't think we can afford Debo, but who knows?
You know what? Debo will be a great fit for you guys, actually.
Because he's a runner.
No. Debo, I believe the reason Debo wants to leave is because he doesn't want to be a running back.
That's right, but he can do
Yeah.
He's not like your he's not like your Bateman. He's more of
he's like an Anquan Bolden with more speed.
There you go. He's more like an Anquan.
And that's what we need. That's really what we need.
That's what I'm saying. He's a perfect fit.
He's a perfect fit for you guys.
We need a man to come play wide receiver for us, man.
Have you seen Debo's neck? That shit is like this.
Yes. I would love to have Debo, but we might end up with Landry or something. Who knows?
He's also a decent fit, but I think Debo is better.
We have enough of those.
Debo is better.
Yeah, Debo is better.
I don't think you guys can afford him because Lamar's going to cost you guys $50 million.
Yeah. Anybody else want to chime in for that division? What do you guys think? I actually think it's almost neck to neck with Baltimore and And but I think the Pittsburgh Steelers, depending on how the quarterback play is, right there too. But if the quarterback play is good, then Steelers are up there with them. But I think it's almost neck to neck with Baltimore and especially if Baltimore gets another receiver. Like if they get another receiver.
I would say this.
Yeah.
I would say that the AFC North, every team can be first, every team can be last.
Yep. Every year that's the case. Yep.
For me,
this year was good than other years because there's so many unknowns. This is the first time I am seeing the Pittsburgh Steelers without a quarterback, like a solid.
Bro, they got Trubisky, man. What are you talking about?
Really? That's what we're doing?
Hey, he played well at Buffalo.
Oh, I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. I'm just saying that franchise has had like 5 quarterbacks their entire existence.
Yeah.
And everybody's a Hall of Famer pretty much. So this is the first time I'm seeing them without like, hey, we actually have
Bubby Brister and Neil McDonald are not Hall of Famers.
Yeah, neither is Cordell Stewart.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean. I don't have to spell it out.
I definitely get you though. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. If the commissioner doesn't step in, Deshaun Watson, I think, takes that division. Because that team is already loaded. And you give those weapons to Deshaun Watson with a running game?
I forgot, man. You remember how happy I was when he left? Bro. That's why everybody's like, yeah, AFC West is there, but the AFC North is going to be an interesting division.
If he doesn't get suspended, you give him that O-line with a running game.
Right, and actually might be more entertaining than the AFC West. Trust me. Just watch. The
AFC West is gonna be a gun show, and that's what the NFL loves. So that's gonna be fun. Everybody's chucking it. So that's gonna be fun.
That's why I'm drafting all my fantasy players.
Yeah. I'm drafting NFC players only because I only need to draft from my 4 teams.
All right, cool.
Anyway,
cool. Back. Okay, let's go to the illustrious 6-time Super Bowl champs, the blank gate themselves. Insert whatever you want in there. My man Cy Shackelford is here to tell us how Mr. Maryland, Mr. Bill Belichick himself put together. Because I don't. You talk.
All right. Okay, clearly the Patriots traded down the game picks in this round. The most prominent are Cole Strange, which was obviously the strangest pick.
Yep.
Yeah, but it does fill a void that was created by trading Shaq Mason and letting Ted Carcass go during free agency. And Strange, he's projected to start at left guard if he can adapt to the Patriots system. The one player that I am excited the most about is Taquan Thornton, the wide receiver from Baylor. I mean, he addresses an offensive need that the Patriots lack: speed. I mean, the Patriots, they traded a 2nd rounder and a 5th rounder to move up 4 spots just to get him. And last season, when he was in college, he had 10 touchdown passes during the 2021 season. So he's the one I'm most excited about. Let's see. Marcus Jones, a cornerback. He's a Patrick Chung type of defensive back. He's versatile enough to play cornerback, safety, or even linebacker. But Jack Jones, he's small and feisty, so he may give him some competition in that area. And mind you, these 2 guys, along with Sam Roberts, the defensive tackle, they're the only defensive players that were drafted during this time around. Belichick spent most of his time getting offensive players.
And defense is good, though, so yeah.
True, yeah. And also, I want to, on a side note, getting Devontae Parker during free agency, I think that's Belichick giving 2 middle fingers. That's him giving 2 middle fingers to N'Keal Harry. Since Parker, he's a 1st-round draft pick, and so is Harry, but Parker's not the bust.
He's better than the 2. He's better of the 2.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Who else? Let's see. Pierre Strong, the running back from South Dakota State. Yeah, along with Thornton, that also, like I said, that highlights a clear need that a clear deficiency they've been having on offense: speed. Bailey Zapp. Let's see. The Patriots traded away their second 3rd round pick to Carolina in exchange to get him and a 2023 3rd rounder. Yeah, he had 62 touchdown passes last year, and to be honest, though, even though quarterbacks they bring them in because you can never have too many quarterbacks to develop, I guess. But I think in this round right here, they should have drafted somebody who would have had a more immediate impact on the field. Let's see who else. Kevin Harris, the running back from South Carolina. He's at the cutoff point where I think he could either make the roster or be on the practice squad, although he could just give some competition to Strong. Sam Roberts, I've seen a tape of his. He's got long arms and he can disrupt passing situations. But because of his lower level of competition, like 18.5 sacks and 38 career starts, he may just be on the practice squad as well. Let's see. Chasen Hines. I see him as a lineman at most. Andrew Stubert. He's from Connecticut, so he knows New England. So he's right at home there. And he's got the potential to be a good blocker. He's 6'6", 325 pounds. He'll most likely vie for a backup roster spot at either right tackle or guard. And let me see. The one player, the undrafted free agent I'm excited about the most is Derek King from Miami. For me, he's a sole standout because even though he's a quarterback, he has the potential of being molded into a wide receiver, which is good because it gives Mac Jones more weapons out there.
Cool. I'd say this.
He thinks they're getting another what's his face, Julian Edelman.
Nah. Well, maybe. I mean, what's it called? Edelman was a very low draft pick himself, like a 7th round.
Yeah, he was. But I'll say this: I honestly believe you could have gotten Thornton in the 2nd round, because all that he had was that speed. Like, he has video, but he wasn't even projected to be high. It was the combine that actually got him noticed. And considering the 1st round, what happened?
He didn't like what you said.
They didn't get him in the 2nd round. They didn't get him in the 2nd round. What are you talking about?
Who?
Thornton. Thornton was the 2nd round pick.
Oh, I thought they traded up to get him in the 1st round.
No, he was
traded back in the first
18. Round 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
they traded back. Yeah.
Thornton was 2nd round.
It was the 2nd round. Oh, so he was one of the first receivers.
Yeah, the only receiver that we got.
I think you could have gotten him later, honestly. And that's why people was. Oh yeah, your lineman was the first guy you picked.
Yeah.
That's strange.
Stranger things. Yeah.
Stranger things.
Hey, but like Sai said, we never talked about Mr. Irrelevant. We took a quarterback as Mr. Irrelevant. Watch Shanahan turn him into Nick Mullins.
Watch, yeah, I know, right?
I think you could have gotten that guy much later, but then when I saw how you picked the running back, it just kind of clicked to me. You guys now have a new offensive coordinator because Fuckface has moved to
McDaniels.
Yeah, he's gone.
Raiders.
Disrespect, man.
I can't stand that guy. But
Bill Belichick has 1, maybe 2 not so great seasons, and then people are second guessing Bill Belichick's like picks and shit.
No, I was just getting to it.
That seems questionable.
Don't let him get a revenge season.
I hope we do because even though these picks look questionable, yeah.
I'm actually
his draft.
The way I see it as you guys are switching offensive philosophies. You're going to more like a fast-paced running gun because the running back you pick is the fastest running back in this entire draft. I don't know if you're aware of that. He's actually the fastest one. The receiver is one of the top 3 fastest in this draft.
He's the one I'm most excited for, yeah.
Yeah, that's what. N'Keal Harry is slow. Not only is he a bust, he's a very slow receiver.
And look at his stats. It looks like something that a guy during his rookie season would have.
He's a receiver that runs like a tight end, if not
4 touchdowns and like 500 yards. That's it. In 3 years you were there. The fuck out of here, literally.
The irony, his strengths coming out of college was the high point catching in traffic, but he's dropped so many balls in the pros.
He couldn't make the transition.
He's almost like useless. So,
and he wants
that's
to be
why
traded,
at the beginning I was like, "What is this draft?" But then when I actually started looking at it, I was like, "Yeah, McDaniels is gone. There's a new offensive coordinator.
They don't even have an offensive coordinator.
No, we don't, or defensive coordinator. No, we don't have either.
So who's
Bill Belichick's calling all the place.
Oh my gosh! Now I'm concerned.
Yeah, I mean he's better on defense than he is offense.
Exactly, that's his thing, is defense. So let's see how it goes. But I think maybe his son being under the tutelage of McDaniels is probably going to put some input into how the offense is run. And I honestly think you guys are going to move towards a more speedy offense as opposed to like a progressional, dink and dunk type of So we'll see how it goes. I just think the spot that you picked, Thornton, was a stretch. I think you could have got him later.
Yeah,
the way the receivers went in this draft, I think you could have got him later. But it's cool. We'll see
like
how
I
it
said,
goes.
they traded down. They traded down in the first round just to gain picks. Yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as our division looks, I gotta say the Buffalo Bills, they look the best on paper. I mean, they got a James Cook. What's it called? That cornerback that they traded to get in the first round, Khair Elam.
And then the punter is good too. They had the punter that Rex was talking about. They picked him.
The punter / kicker.
Yeah.
Because he can do both.
Or whatever his name is.
Yeah,
Cook. I can't wait to see how he works with Josh Allen.
He's like he's not like his brother. He's not as good as his brother, but he's more of a pass catching, shifty. He doesn't have the build that his brother has, but he's also good. That's one area that they lack.
He's got a starting job. That's all I know.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's an area that they lack. So let's see how it goes. Yeah, that's the area that they lack. So
he's definitely going to be starting.
I think the Jets had the best draft in your division.
Yeah, they got Garrett Wilson and
just about
Jeremy
every
Trucker.
Was great.
Yeah, they made some good picks in their draft. Yeah.
And since
Sam Darnold.
And since Miami,
they got Sauce.
Yeah, Sauce. I think they might have had the best draft in the whole thing. They had so many good picks. Like, it's amazing what they did in this draft. Sauce, like Rex said, Wilson to me is the best receiver in this draft. Jermaine is one of the best pass rushers. Breece Hall is the best all around back in this draft, in my opinion. Ruckert is a very good, he's a very good, I know him too because we were looking at tight ends, so I actually looked up the tight ends. Ruckert is one of those that is a hell of a blocker, but he could also catch. But Ohio State didn't really use him as a pass catcher. But when you actually see his tape, he can catch.
And he went to school with Wilson too, didn't he?
Wilson, which Wilson?
Garrett Wilson.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So he has promised to be actually a pretty good tight end if they use him as a pass catcher, but he's primarily a blocker. But this is that draft. Their draft.
And lastly,
so good.
Miami. I consider them below us on the draft capital because they gave up so many players, a first, second, and a fourth rounder to get Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle over there, who are good players. But it's like, look at your draft capital now. All these lower round picks. The only person I see that's actually worth anything is Cameron Good.
Yeah. I'll give you that. But yeah, I think we all expected them to be drafting for depth based on everything that they gave out.
They gave away everything but the kitchen sink.
Yeah, so
they're trying to follow the Rams' philosophy of F them picks, man. Let's see if it's successful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, but I definitely think out of all the teams that got better, obviously, if you add free agency, maybe the Bills were the best. But as far as the draft, the Jets had a great draft. What's his face should probably have a great year too. Their quarterback Zach Wilson should have a great year. And then with that,
is this the last year for the coaching staff to do something?
No, they just this is guy's second year.
Last year.
Yeah, this is a solid second year.
Yeah.
And they have an up and coming defense, and with the pass rusher they have that guy in the middle that's pretty good. Actually, they have two guys in the middle that are pretty good. So with the addition of the pass rush, I think they got a linebacker as well. The sky's the limit. And the receiver, Elijah Moore.
You guys don't respect Sauce Gardner, do you?
I mean, he's a first round pick, so we already know. But I'm talking about what they had last year.
Oh, gotcha. I was about to say, I want to talk about all this stuff and not mention the sauce.
Yeah, the line was pretty poor pass rush, and they kind of that piece they've added takes a lot
has the confidence of Jalen Ramsey, man. He scares me.
He's good though. Yeah. So
scares me.
And on the offensive side, they have the more stout running back now. Breece Hall is the contrast. So it's to spell, they have a speedy guy, and the receivers, Elijah Moore is serious. He's only going to get better. Then they have the guy that came from Tennessee. Well, do you remember? I forget his name. He was a Corey Davis. And then now they've added Wilson. And then tight end.
Lake and Tomlinson on the line to protect Wilson.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's all.
Exactly. And then
Oh,
they
they're
have
going to
Bet.
be a problem. They're definitely going to be a problem.
Yeah,
this season.
they should have a leap. Like they one of those teams similar to how I see Jacksonville, but even better. They're going to be one of those teams that is going to be. You just don't want to play them.
But they still playing the AFC, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's actually to their advantage because all they got to do is steal a couple wins here and there, and they can disrupt the whole AFC. Because AFC at this point, you either win your division or you are shut out.
It's a long shot. Yeah, it's
pretty much
long shot. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah. Thoughts on the overall draft? Are there any teams that you guys thought were like you had your eyes wide open after you saw their draft and head scratchers? Like for me, the head scratcher of the draft was definitely the Commanders, but
that kind of goes without saying.
Yeah, I specifically liked the Jets draft. I liked ours too, but the Jets draft was like really good.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing.
The Jets had a plan, and I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but they did something right.
Yeah.
The Jets, I thought Ravens had a good draft.
I thought the Ravens had a really good one too.
I thought KC had a sneaky good draft.
Yeah, KC had a good draft too.
KC had a sneaky good draft too.
Yeah, KC had a good draft too. But they don't. I want to see how their defense. I want to see how their defense meshes together.
Right.
Yeah, because the defense was really bad last year. So let's see. But their draft was also really good. So
let's see if they can replace Tyreek, because I think people are underestimating how much production and what percentage of their offense that guy was responsible for.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You just give him the ball in space and he's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, backwards right into the end zone.
But the kid they drafted.
No, the kid they drafted is not the same, but he is really good.
He's really good.
He's the best route runner in this draft.
No, there's no other Tyreek, man. There's no other Tyreek here.
Yeah, but then
true.
To be fair as well, they have one of those offensive-minded coaches that the talent has changed. Let's switch. Andy Reid is one of those coaches that totally.
So, I'm not saying that they are not going to succeed. I said I'm curious to see how they replace him, because there were so many times in games where the game broke down, Mahomes just running around and just chucks it up, and you're thinking, oh, this is a pick or this is going to fall somewhere,
wide open.
And then here comes Roadrunner, and he's going.
And I think to add to what you're saying,
because the Ravens suffered from them the most.
And to add to Rex's point,
oh my God,
we did in the Super Bowl.
Yours was one game. They have done. Tyreek has done this to us.
The biggest game there is. The biggest game there is.
And we gotta play him in Miami too.
And to add to Rex's point, we're gonna see how good Mahomes is for real. Because he bailed him out a lot. So let's see now that
without his top receiver.
He has more of a route runner where you actually have to have the timing on.
I don't know if that's a fair thing, because I think we're talking about going from top 1, top 2 to top 5. That's
fair enough.
That's not doing anything. It's Mahomes, man. This Mahomes we're talking about. He's not about to become we're not gonna start comparing him to Ryan Tannehill and shit just because Tyreek is gone.
Fair point.
So,
Absolutely.
I don't know if that's where the problem is. I'm more curious to see who's gonna pick up that production. Does Mahomes have to now spread it out more? Because Mahomes, he kind of had
dependency,
tunnel vision with regards to Kelsey and Tyreek,
and on Hill, very dependent.
And very dependent. So I'm curious to see how they adjust, but I'm not about to say, oh, let's see if he's still a great. Nah, he's a Hall of Famer already.
Yeah.
Kelsey gonna get 2,000 yards this year.
Nah, I think they have other receivers too. Schuster, as long as he's not number 1, he's decent. And then they have
Pringles.
Man, he's gonna
Valdez, Scantling.
Pringles is gone though. Pringles.
They picked up Scantling. They picked up Valdez Scantling.
Pringles is gone.
Yeah, so and he's a speedy guy too.
Pringles with the Bears now.
Yeah, Valdez is another speedy guy. They still have Mecole Hardman, so we'll see. Their division, they're gonna beat each other up. So let's see how that goes.
Yeah, I'm more curious to see how they do with Tyreek in Miami, because that speed on the outside, I don't know if that quarterback has what it takes to deal with that speed.
Yeah, that's why I was like, Tyreek, are you sure this is where you want to go? I know they're paying you big bucks. I mean, you won a Super Bowl, so now it's about
I think right now he's just trying to cash checks. He doesn't care.
He's won everything, so might as well eat. Exactly.
But that's
production value is gonna go to hell. Yeah.
Yeah, those might be the 2 fastest wide receivers in the NFL.
The tandem. Yeah.
That's ridiculous, man.
It's definitely up there. So we will see. I think we all like our drafts. I think a big part of our draft will rely on coaching, which is why actually our off season was more heavy based on coaching changes and stuff versus player acquisition. Obviously, we did well with Matt Ryan and then the Gilmore, and then obviously the safety. But a lot of it is also predicated, the way we picked was also predicated on development. So we'll see. I'm very excited about the tight end, Jelani Woods. The dude is like 6'7", 250, runs like a 4.6 at that. And he's like I said, his RAS score was 10, which is crazy to me. That is even better than, like you said, Kyle Pitts. But he's raw. He hasn't played tight end that long. But if you look at I was like, when they were hyping his RAS, I was like, let me actually go look at his video because what's his face has also had a good RAS, but I didn't really think he was as good as they were hyping him. Christian Watson that went to the Packers. I looked at his tape. I was like, yeah, he's good, but he's playing against inferior competition, and he still doesn't look like he wows me. But when I looked at Jelani's tape, I'm like, this guy pops. Like, you can tell this guy is going to be his athletic ability shows on the field. So if he's coached up, I definitely see him eventually becoming tight end one. And now that we have Matt Ryan, who loves tight ends, we'll see. He's 6'7" too, so tall dude. He's taller than Gronk, so yeah. So I mean, we'll see, and more athletic than Gronk, which is crazy to imagine. So we'll see. And Alec Pierce, I'm just happy we got another receiver because I've been laughed at over the years by that guy and by the Star. He's laughed at my receiver core for ages. Yeah, I don't think he even hears me, but he's been laughing about my receiver. So I'm just happy we got some receivers. So we'll see. I think they're also planning on using this guy a lot this year, Kiki Kuti. So we'll see, as a slot guy, in case Paris Campbell goes down again, because unfortunately Paris Campbell does not play the full season. So.
Indy, run the ball.
I know. Just give it to Taylor, man.
Just give it to Taylor. What are you guys trying to do over there, man?
You saw where that got us when we just gave him the ball.
A loss.
Jacksonville beat us at the end of the year.
Well, that's still a quarterback that can make a play or two.
That's what
I'm saying. So now you
that was not on Jonathan Taylor.
That was not on Taylor, man.
My point is, you need to pass the ball, and if you don't pass the ball, all he doesn't do is put the whole defense on the line.
I'm not saying come there and then run 86 snaps running the ball. I'm just saying, like,
what the Patriots did.
That is the focus of your offense.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to change.
What did to Buffalo?
I know, yeah, pretty much, yeah. Just run.
I don't think that's going to change. I think we're going to go back to using Nyheim Hines a lot. You know, the reason why Nyheim Hines' production dropped so much was because Wentz's progression was terrible. There were games that we actually schemed for Nyheim Hines, but he didn't pass the ball to Nyheim Hines. And Nyheim Hines is one of those guys, when you get the ball in space, he's dangerous. And he's a running back he's a converted receiver to running back, so he can actually catch the ball well. He can play in the slot. One of those. He's like Debo in an actual running back's body. But
he catches the ball really well out the backfield.
Yeah, he catches the ball really well. So he was a receiver.
Ninos, how you feeling about Trey Day, man? You ready for Trey? Is Trey ready?
Yes, I think so. I can't wait to see it. I'm hyped for him. I think he's got it. I mean, shit.
I've seen videos in practice. He definitely has the talent. I mean,
has he finally figured out like how to put touch on the ball? Is he still throwing like shotgun barrel blast at everything? that was his problem. That's like a wide receiver is like 5 yards from him, and then he's throwing the ball like it's going 40 yards. That was one of the things that.
Yeah, he's working on that, but I think it'll be fine. I mean, he's only 21 years old, so
that's crazy.
That is crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Holy crap, man.
Yeah. So
he's won a couple games. So I mean, hey.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
I'm excited. I hope he has success, man. You know, I'm always happy to see a young black man do some great shit. So
100. My only concern is he's coming from the same school Carson Wentz came from.
Come on, that's not.
I'm joking.
You guys forget that Carson Wentz was one hell of a player before his injury, and his confidence took a hit.
I'm joking. Yeah, he was. His first two seasons.
He never got hurt. That boy we might be talking about him with Aaron Rodgers and things right now.
Yeah. I think what has held him back.
Philly broke him.
Yeah, Philly broke him, and he has
definitely broke him.
He has an ego. Like
Nick
he doesn't,
Foles.
he doesn't listen. He doesn't listen.
Speaking of Nick Foles, he just got released by the Bears today.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that.
Oh.
I saw that.
Watch, he'll
That
be
man
back
that-
to Philly.
I know,
That man
right?
can't find a home nowhere.
No,
He's only
No,
been
he's
in
gonna
Philly.
find a
He
home.
has the
Oh, he's got a home.
Him,
There's a
Gardner
statue of him
Minshew.
outside of the
I
stadium.
know, right?
Which you see every day.
Yeah, he and Gardner Minshew, they have the Fitzpatrick illness.
Yeah.
Like when they are backups and you put them on the field, they'll ball. The moment you
Yeah.
give them the starting job,
Yeah.
you're like, all right, I'm done.
exactly. So I mean, we'll see. I think we're all at that point. Everybody, I don't think anybody is like really unhappy with their draft, unless you're a Commander fan.
I'm still a little nervous about ours because like who goes into the maybe other teams have done this, but Baltimore, the way I have observed this team, we don't go into the draft and create holes. Like that is not a thing the Ravens do. We trade picks, we don't trade players. So that threw everybody for a loop because we're also, like I said, we're not good at developing wide receivers. So drafting one wasn't necessarily going to solve that problem. And we don't have cap space to get one of these big boys that can come in and contribute immediately. So we really don't know what's going to happen. You can do everything right, and then Lamar comes out and throws 4 picks and we lose the game because there's nobody to catch the ball. So who knows?
I think you guys are definitely going to sign somebody before minicamp, like a vet. Who
with
we
what
don't know.
money? Who's going to sign a 1-year contract for 10 mil? Because that's all we got, especially if we drafted 11 players. Who drafts 11? I'm cool.
The Giants did.
I'm cool.
The Giants did too.
Yeah, I mean,
11 rookies?
no, there's a difference. The Giants are terrible. They need as many bodies to figure out what they're doing. The Ravens are a set franchise, so 11 is a lot.
11 is a lot of rookies.
Where they are, it's a lot of people.
I mean, maybe they want to push some vets out. You know, maybe they want to get some vets out, reduce that salary cap for them.
Maybe.
Right?
And
but then you want to put like 4 or 5 rookies on the started lineup week 1.
If you're just as good as the vets, why not?
I think you guys are also going to restructure some contracts to free up some space here and there.
They'll have to.
Yeah, and then it's all about how you manipulate the cap. How are you going to front load, end load, and then that's it. Like, so, but
I just want Lamar to get a receiver so he can actually show what he can really do, because that doubt eventually it gets into your head. I don't care who you are. Eventually, you start to doubt yourself. If you're only completing 2,500 yards a season, you are completing 8 yards per pass. No matter what the system is, eventually you will feel like maybe I am not that good. So I need somebody to boost his confidence, man. That's what I need.
I like to imagine that you have like 8 million wide receivers and your undrafted free agents.
We got one guy that I like, the guy I mentioned from Alabama, the little white guy that reminds me of what's his face?
Cole Beasley.
Cole Beasley. I like him, but we don't really have much more. But we having a top tight end does a lot to help. So Rashad Bateman, I still believe Bateman is going to be a top 10 receiver this season.
Right, but Cole Beasley's still a free agent.
Yeah, I think
that's not the problem. The problem is not bad or good. The problem is we need somebody with size that is different from what we have.
He knows how to get open.
I think
he gets open really quick. That's what Lamar needs.
He knows how to get open. That's the thing. So as long as he gives you that production where you're moving, like there's a threat in the passing game, then that's cool because you're predominantly a running game. You just need to command respect that you can pass. Once you have that, you can run the ball how you like because you guys are hard to stop on the run. But if people don't respect the pass, then they're just going to focus on the run, and then it's more containable. So you just need someone. You don't even really, at least maybe not this year. You don't really need someone that's going to like. It's like a top tier guy, just someone that will command defenses to respect the pass, and then it's going to be a problem. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see. I definitely think you're going to sign a veteran. You're definitely not going
Antonio Brown.
At this point, I'll take AB's deal. I'll take that deal that he and Floyd Mayweather are offering. At this point, I'll take it. I'll take it, man.
You think anybody will take him back?
For that 20 mil, somebody will take him.
He's gonna get a team. He's talented, but I don't know if they're gonna pay him what he's asking. But he's gonna get a team.
But for how long?
1 year. No matter what.
Unless he acts up again.
That's what I'm saying. It depends on him. Like, it'll be a year, but will he finish the year?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So, But yeah.
Anyway,
We're hitting an hour 30, so let's kind of wrap up. Do you guys want to think about probably doing something after camp, or should we camp into preseason, or should you guys just want to do the preview before the season as our next episode?
well, a few
Preview
things are happening.
before the season.
The 12th is scheduled release, so that's something to keep an eye
Oh
on.
yeah, that's
we don't need to do anything about that, but at least it's something to think about. Schedule release, you kind of get an idea of what your team when they are playing.
Yeah.
Then after that, you have mini camp, training camp. We can do something. If you ask me, I think we should do something maybe after the third preseason game.
Yeah.
Just as a preview for the season, because we don't want to wait till the end of the fourth, because then it gets
There is
rushed.
no fourth.
Wait, there is no fourth or third.
Oh, there's no fourth anymore.
Because of the extended
game.
So after preseason game 2, we can have a chit chat.
Yeah, we can do the preview. Yeah. So that's
And then
awesome.
during the season, are we doing every week or?
Yeah, we're doing every
every
week
week.
and they're live streams. That's when we actually start doing live.
What does live stream mean? What does that mean again?
Live.
What people can actually watch it as we're recording.
Sorry, don't play with me.
I wasn't. He interrupted me.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so right now it's not live. It's just being recorded and we'll release it later. But during the season it's gonna be live. So we actually have people commenting as we're streaming. So
Right.
Yeah, it'll be every week. 2 episodes. They will not be this long though, because it's just going to be talking about our games and then the top 3 games of the week, and then we'll talk about our picks and then I'll score our chart.
So which means every week we're going to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs.
AFC pretty much. AFC.
Yes, oh my God.
AFC.
Can you switch divisions? Can you write an application to the league and be like, yo, can we move to the NFC?
No.
Right.
Because Jesus Christ.
Right. But it should be fun. The season should be fun because that's when we're probably going to be trolling, because there's going to be material to laugh at, like stuff like what people mess up and shit. So it'll be fun. But yeah, this was a good episode. Thank you guys again for coming on, and I hope those that watch give us your feedback, whatever team you support. Tell us how you liked your draft. Tell us what team drafted the best in your opinion, and we hope to hear back from you. We thank you once again, and this is the VFL, the Victory Formation Lounge podcast, and we are out. Peace.